Welcome back, friends. It is Thursday, so time for Talking Kids with Dr. Caitlynn, Lexington pediatrician Dr. Caitlynn Iddings with us this morning, as always.
Today we're talking about flu cases in kids, specifically how to make sure your kid does not get the flu again, because they've seen an increase in kids getting it multiple times a year, which is interesting to me. Is that true?
Is that true?
You gave me a look.
Well, I was going to talk about recurrent strep cases.
Strep!
Oh, wonderful.
Well, let's talk about strep then.
Perfect.
You can get flu more than once in a year. You can get the A strain and the B strain.
Yeah.
But what we've been seeing more recently is a lot of strep and then getting it again and then getting it again.
Yes.
And then getting it again.
Now, why is that? So,
Yeah, and so-
that's viral, isn't it?
No, strep is bacteria, right?
Well, that's why then.
Yeah, so typically the peak age range that will get strep are kind of school-age kids, right? So it's very uncommon age 3 and under, and it's very uncommon in adults unless you have kids, right? And so ages 5 to 15 are kind of the ones that get it most, and so those are the ones that are in school, and typically what happens is they'll come in, they'll have it, they'll get put on their antibiotics, they'll get rid of it, they'll feel better, right? They get off their antibiotics, and then, you know, 1 to 2 weeks later, they come in with the same symptoms and they're positive again. And the parents are like, what is going on?
Yeah, how is this happening? We just got over this.
You know, and it's basically what happens is they get treated, but like their friend sitting next to them at school had it, or sometimes they sit next to someone who's just a carrier and they don't have symptoms, right? But they can cough or touch their nose and then touch the table, and then they touch the table, and then they touch their face, and then they can get it back again. And so we have been seeing this a lot. It can be very frustrating for parents, especially because it requires, you know, frequent antibiotic use, and then they're like, do we need to just get the tonsils taken out, and you know, all of that sort of thing. So there is been, you know, parents are also like, oh, well, maybe the antibiotic just didn't work, and it's like, well, no, strep is it's not a very smart bacteria. It's very easily killed by penicillin. If you're penicillin allergic, there can be some resistance to other drugs, but you know, one good dose of a penicillin shot or a 10-day course of amoxicillin, which is the bubblegum stuff that everyone loves, usually will take care of it. So usually it's going to be a reinfection, and then you have to be treated again. And then the things to prevent it are the things that we were all doing during COVID, right? Wash your hands really good. Make sure you're sanitizing your Chromebooks. I asked my kid the other day, when's the last time you cleaned your Chromebook? And she's like, I don't know, not all year.
Ask any adult, too.
Which
like,
before, they were like, okay, it's time to clean your Chromebook. It's time to sanitize your station. Because the big thing we used to say is like, oh, don't share pencils. And then I had a little boy say, well, I don't have a pencil, I have a Chromebook. And I'm like, oh.
Well, how luxurious.
Probably aren't cleaning those, are we? And
Yeah.
you're like, no. So, and then the other thing they say is, in 3 days after you start the antibiotics, throw away your toothbrush and then get a new one, because you can't actually give it back to yourself. Like I said, it can live on surfaces like toothbrushes. And
For how long? I mean, for a while?
it can for a good amount of time.
Gosh, you know, I always wonder that when I've been sick, because usually I'll do that, and I think a lot of people do, yeah, once you've been sick, throw away that toothbrush. I'm always like, do I even need to do that? But yeah, in some cases, definitely.
Yeah, because you're brushing your teeth twice a day, and then you're putting, it's wet, it's sitting on there, so yeah.
Breeding ground for bacteria. Okay, so do what you can. You don't want to get strep over and over and over again.
Common sense solution sounds like to me.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, all right, Dr. Caitlynn, good to see you. Thank you so much. Stay with us, everybody. Final look at your forecast is coming up. We are back in just a minute.